Welcome to List Lab. Today we're counting down 10 disputed historical events that still puzzle scholars. Each of these stories involves mysteries or controversies about what really happened. We'll look at the evidence and the theories historians still debate. Let's begin the countdown. Number 10. The Burning of Rome, 64 AD. In July of 64 AD, a huge fire swept through the crowded neighborhoods of Rome. Ancient accounts disagree on how it started. The historian Suetonius later claimed Emperor Nero watched the flames and even ordered buildings to be torn down, suggesting he wanted to rebuild the city. Tacitus, who lived at the time, warned against blaming Nero without proof. Nero was actually away from Rome when the fire began. He hurried back, opened his palace gardens to the homeless, and arranged food for refugees. He did blame the Christians for the disaster, but modern scholars see this as a way to calm public anger. There is no archaeological evidence linking Nero to the start of the fire. Today, most experts believe the blaze was accidental. Rome was full of wooden buildings and narrow streets, making it highly vulnerable to fire. Number 9. The disappearance of the Indus Valley civilization. By around 1800 BC, the great cities of the Indus River Valley were being abandoned. This advanced civilization had carefully planned towns, brick houses, drainage systems, and wide trade networks. For a long time, people believed it ended because of invasions or huge floods. However, excavations show very little evidence of violent destruction. Recent climate studies suggest a different story. Centuries of drought and shifting monsoons made farming difficult. Some rivers changed course and harvests failed. Trade with distant regions also began to collapse. Rather than a sudden catastrophe, the decline appears to have been slow. Over many years, people left the big cities and moved into smaller villages. Modern research points to environmental stress and economic change, not a single dramatic event. Number 8. The Death of King Harold at Hastings, 1066. Famous image of King Harold dying from an arrow to the eye comes from the Bayeux Tapestry. However, this dramatic scene may not be accurate. Accounts written soon after the battle simply say Harold was killed. None mention an arrow. Some early Norman chronicles describe him fighting on horseback before being cut down by enemy knights. The arrow story first appears in writings from the 12th century. It may even have been added to the tapestry during later repairs. Many historians believe the arrow tale is a later legend. In the confusion of battle, the exact cause of Harold's death may never be known. Most experts now see the famous image as symbolism rather than eyewitness evidence. Number 7. The fate of the Amber Room during the Second World War. Russia's famous Amber Room was taken by the Nazis in 1941 and moved to the castle at Königsberg in Germany. In 1944, Allied bombing badly damaged the city. The castle was later burned during the Soviet advance. When Soviet troops entered the ruins in 1945, they found only burned fragments of the room's decorations. This led them to believe it had been destroyed. Because the priceless amber panels were never recovered, many alternative theories appeared. Some claimed they were hidden in mines or loaded onto ships that later sank. None of these stories were ever proven. Searchers have found only small, scattered pieces. Today, most historians believe the Amber Room was destroyed during the bombing and fires. Its exact end remains uncertain, but there is no solid evidence it survived the war. Number 6. The Jamestown Starving Time, 1609 to 1610. During the winter of 1609 to 1610, the English colony at Jamestown in Virginia faced a terrible famine. Out of about 500 settlers, only around 60 survived. Letters and archaeological evidence tell the grim story. The colonists arrived during a severe drought. Relations with nearby Native American groups collapsed, cutting off food supplies. Leadership inside the colony was poor, and a vital supply ship was delayed. With almost no provisions, the settlers resorted to desperate measures. Accounts describe them eating horses, dogs, cats, rats, and even shoe leather. In 2012, scientists found human bones with cut marks. The remains belonged to a teenage girl who had been butchered and eaten. This confirmed the written reports of cannibalism. Most historians agree the disaster was caused by drought, isolation, and poor planning. The cannibalism was a result of extreme desperation, not the cause of it. Number 5. The Great Fire of London, 1666. On the 2nd of September 1666, a fire began in a bakery on Pudding Lane. It quickly spread through London's tightly packed wooden houses. The official explanation was simple, an accident probably from an unattended oven, but as the flames grew, panic spread through the city. Rumours claimed foreigners or Catholic conspirators had started the blaze. Mobs attacked immigrants in the streets. King Charles II ordered an investigation. His commissioners found no evidence of arson. They blamed chance, dry weather, and the city's flammable construction. Most historians today agree the fire was accidental. The conspiracy stories reflected the tense religious politics of the time. Number 4. The Death of Mozart, 1791. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart died on the 5th of December, 1791, at just 35 years old. In his final weeks, he suffered from fever, pain, and swelling. Almost immediately, rumors spread that he had been poisoned. Suspicion later fell on fellow composer Antonio Salieri. This story became famous in plays and films. However, Mozart's official records list the cause of death as miliary fever, a vague medical term. No doctor at the time diagnosed poisoning. Modern medical studies suggest natural causes, possibly a severe infection or kidney disease. These problems may have been worsened by the harsh treatments of the era, such as bloodletting. Salieri always denied any involvement. Today, most scholars reject the poisoning theory. The general view is that Mozart died from sudden illness, not foul play. Number 3. The Lost Norse Colony in Greenland. Norse settlers founded farming communities in Greenland in the late 900s. By the mid-1500s, they had disappeared. There is no evidence of a large battle or mass grave. Instead, historians point to long-term environmental and economic problems. The climate grew colder during the Little Ice Age. Sea ice spread, shortening growing seasons and making travel difficult. Trade with Europe also declined. Prices for walrus ivory, one of their main exports, dropped sharply. Some studies suggest rising sea levels slowly flooded farmland. Over time, many families likely left and sailed back to Iceland or Norway. The settlements appear to have faded away gradually, rather than ending in a single disaster. Number 2. The Tunguska Explosion, 1908. On the 30th of June 1908, a huge explosion shook the skies over the Tunguska region of Siberia. Witnesses described a bright fireball, a thunderous blast, and intense heat. The shockwave knocked people off their feet and flattened trees across an enormous area. No crater was found. Scientists believe the object broke apart in the air about 5 to 10 kilometers above the ground. Most experts agree it was caused by a space rock entering Earth's atmosphere. The leading theory is that an asteroid, or possibly a fragment of a comet, exploded in mid-air. Modern simulations suggest the blast was similar in force to a large nuclear explosion. Although some unusual theories have been suggested, none have convincing evidence. Today the event is widely accepted as a natural airburst. Number 1. The Peasants Revolt of 1381. In the summer of 1381, ordinary people in southeastern England rose in rebellion. Heavy taxes and economic hardship had pushed them to the limit. The uprising began in small villages but soon spread to London. Leaders such as Wat Tyler and the priest John Bull demanded an end to serfdom and other reforms. Their speeches gave the revolt a clear message. However, the movement was also chaotic. Many peasants joined simply out of anger, without any long-term plan. King Richard II met the rebels and briefly agreed to their demands. Soon after, he turned against them, and the revolt was violently crushed. Historians still debate whether it was an organized political movement or a spontaneous uprising. Most now see it as a mixture of both. It remains one of the most famous popular revolts in medieval England. Which of these disputed events did you find most intriguing? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this countdown, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more countdowns from ListLab.